G'day folks, here's my October collection update. G'day folks, Jeff here, welcome back to the channel. This is my October collection update. You know the drill. Although, strangely, this one only has 4 records and a ton of CDs. I don't know why, just worked out that way, who knows. So yeah, plenty of new stuff, but also a couple of old, really quite old classics, and a couple of sort of, I don't know, random ones that I picked that was one of those, you know, haven't listened to it, I'll buy it anyway because it doesn't cost that much and it's a band name that I've heard around a bit, so which turned out pretty bloody good. So anyway, let's get into it. All right, we'll start with the record scene as I plenty more CDs. First up was a couple I got from Haunted Hotel Records in New York. It's run by Ralph, the good chap that he is, that puts out some excellent stuff, including this reissue. This is Bile with The Shed. This is their first EP, so this is, yeah, you'd probably recognise these guys from my No Escape video because, well, I've had this for like nearly 20 years, but you're lucky I haven't also bought the original CD of that just for the fun of it. Yeah, maybe one day. At any rate, I had to get it on record because I love this bloody stuff. So this is a Dutch gore grind band, heavy as hell. This is the one that turned into Skullhog that didn't quite grab me as much as Bile. This is their first EP. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 themed. Not the first one, the second one. That's got a lot better lines to use as samples, I think. So yeah, it does have some samples in it. You know, the classic "Sex or the Saw is family," and you know, just amusing, really well done samples. Like they're not sort of 2 minutes like Mortician sort of ones. They're just enough. So yeah, perfect mix of groove with some faster, nasty gore and just also some sort of very detuned sludge. I really love the sound of these guys. So yeah, killer pitch shifted gurgles from I think a couple of the guys actually play. This is the Inner, which is pretty similar to the CD version, although the CD version does have this cool collage on the tray of cool ass flyers of gigs that I didn't go to, unfortunately, because I never did get to see Bile. I think they played MDF a couple of years ago, and yeah, it sounded pretty bloody cool. I mean, even back in the day. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, fancy marbled red sort of vinyl. So yeah, let's put this in the stuff I didn't need, but I wanted. So, I mean, this is as good as their Camp Blood album, the follow-up to this, but Camp Blood's better because it's longer. It has more songs, so I think this is only like 17 minutes maybe, but it's a damn good 17 minutes, so yeah. Dutch, heavy-ass gore grind. Can't go wrong. All right, I needed that Bile album for sure, but I was very happy at the same time I managed to pick this up. This is Putrefaction Sets In split with Fester Decay. So Putrefaction Sets In's like a... I have shown them before, their album that came out a couple of years ago, sort of like an international band with a couple of ex-members of Regurgitate, so from Sweden and America, and a couple of guys from Brazil as well, from Expurgo, and I think also the singer from Lymphatic Phlegm, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So a bit of an all-star band, but killer gore grind sort of stuff. Short, catchy kind of songs. I can sort of show you the back. It's a bit corpsey, but not too bad. So yeah, Putrefaction Sets In, just really nice, thick sound. Just, as I said, short, catchy, cool songs. The usual sort of gory, pitch-shifted vocals from Andre, but also kind of raspier style, which possibly is the guy from... There's another vocalist, Philippe, is from Expurgo. Maybe he does the raspy stuff, I don't know, but... Yeah, very happy to get it because, yeah, I think I might have ranted about this before. It was not cheap to get this from anywhere. Came out on Rescued for Life, which is an American label that, yeah, shipping was not complimentary from anywhere I found it, so I was happy to chuck this one in. The other side is Fester Decay. It's a Japanese band. Yeah, for some reason, like I've got to download it. I haven't actually bought it. Maybe I should have. Their... What is it? Reality Rotten to the Core album from a couple of years ago. Just doesn't really grab me, and this is improving. I'll admit. They're also a gore grind band from Japan. Yeah, it's just a bit messy sounding, a bit too much like Carcass. I don't know. I mean, I listen to other bands that are even more like Carcass and like them, but I don't know, just something doesn't quite work. Although that said, the song, was it Sooty Skin Carbonized Bones, track 3. Yeah, that one's got some good riffs in it though, so I will persist. Maybe I'll buy Reality Rotten to the Core just so I force myself to listen to it some more, but yeah. So you get a nice little inner. This one, actually, I think I can show for once. That's a Festa Decay side, and much like Bile, for some reason I got the red one. Hey, it's not all smoky, so it's kind of funny. I always seem to buy the red version of things, even though I'm colourblind, and red doesn't really show up quite as well as normal people. But at any rate, I was happy to grab this one. It's not very long, so yeah, if it's really expensive, maybe pass on it, but I'm glad I got it because, yeah, one very killer gore grind band and one pretty alright gore grind band, so yeah. Putrefaction sets in and Festa Decay. Alright, next up is one that was in my top 20 albums of last year, although the digital version this wasn't actually released until this year, so this is Convulsing with their Peduance album. This is their third album. This is like one-man band of Brendan Sloan who's just also in Alters. This is him doing everything. So this is very dense, very complex, sort of Black Death, bit of dissonance in there as well. So, but there's a lot more than that, just that going on. So honestly, as I think I said in my review of the other one, I've listened to this quite a bit, but it still hasn't quite sunk in. And yeah, even 10 months later, still hasn't quite sunk in. It is, I'll admit, it is a challenging kind of listen, which I'm up for pretty regularly. Yeah, not usually when I'm like going to sleep or something like that, but it's yeah, I like dense sort of stuff. So it is a 2 LP one, so it's reasonably long. I'm not sure if this has got the bonus Porcupine Tree track that was on the digital version of it. I've listened to this on record a few times, but I don't actually remember. It's not listed, so it's a very good cover. But yeah, most of this is pretty full-on sort of stuff. I mean, an easy reference point would be Gorguts Obscura, but it doesn't sound exactly like that by any means, but that's the level of weirdness that goes on this, let's just put it that way. I did seem to think the first 2 songs are a bit more of the full-on sort of ones. They do have some sort of slightly soundscapey kind of songs, and there's other ones that are, I think it's, what is it, Gossamer Paul has got like this bit that, as I think I said in the other review, it just reminds you of Catatonia, just this sort of lead line kind of thing, and then, I mean, it kicks back into not Catatonia, let's put it that way. So the vocals on this are mostly a deepish sort of rasp with a lot of feel to it. It's one of the things that always shines through on this. I think there's also like hints of, I don't know if it's Shattered Temples maybe, there's like, has that kind of descending or ascending sort of riffing style. Kind of reminds me of like Thantophaxis or Portal occasionally. So yeah, this is a 2 LP one. Bit devoid of art, I've got to say. It comes with like a booklet, and I was looking at this thinking, oh yeah, cool. Be heaps of cool pictures in here, but no, there's just lyrics. No other art at all, so I don't know, just seems like a bit of a waste to tell the truth, but who cares? The music is pretty friggin' killer. I think this comes on Fancy Pants, splattery, smudgy, whatever the hell sort of vinyl, but yeah, it sounds bloody nice. So yeah, if you this came out on Avant-Garde Music and Total Dissonance Worship. So this one I got straight off Brendan at Essence 2 Festival this year, where I stupidly managed to not see Convulsing play live. I managed to hassle him on a different night for this record, which unfortunately I had to drag him out to his car for him to get it out of a box. But yeah, I was pleased that I did, because it's not really in many stores. I think it's in one in Sydney. Oh, what's that called? The one in Parramatta. Can't remember what it's bloody called. I'll put it up on the screen. So I'm very glad I got this, but I'm really sad that I missed seeing him live. Yeah, my bung knee was not enjoying life that one. So, and they played the same day as Contaminated, who I would have loved to see as well. But nah, oh well, say la vie. So yeah, this pretty full on. Yeah, if you like your music dense, complex, a lot going on, definitely check out Convulsing. With all, as always, the links to all these bands are below. So You can get a digital version of this as well, or which is what I started with, and yeah, fairly bloody rules. So yeah, kick-ass Black Death weirdness. All right, and the final vinyl that I got this month, I got this from Lycanthropic Chance, is a German label. This is a Jade split with, this is a slightly awkward thing. It's not just like Jade and the back is the split. Hallucinates the other band. So yeah, Jade, the band that I've fallen in love with over the last couple of years, obviously. If you saw my Around the World challenge, they won Spain, let's put it that way. And if you're winning it over Machetaza, you're doing bloody good. So yeah, I'm loving these guys at the moment. This is sort of atmospheric death, or death doom, I think they call it. So yeah, this one starts off, it's a track of each band. I think they just toured together. So this was released just prior to that, I think. So yeah, Jade, on this song, that starts off sounding a lot like Shades of God era Paradise Lost, really. It's, I don't know, just something about it, maybe his vocal delivery or something. It's nice, growly sort of Nick Holmes sort of style. But then it speeds up and goes to a much more frantic pace than Paradise Lost have ever gotten to. I really love the tribal sounding sort of drums on it, the real thumping sort of drums. And yeah, the bloke has a pretty impressive, majestic growl, I wrote down. So, and also some tasty lead work. So the sound on this is superb, but it's no surprise it's done by Jarvie Bastard again, or probably Harvey, I'd say it's probably pronounced. And yeah, it's from the same session as their latest album, Mystery of the Flowery Dream. So yeah, it's bound to sound pretty bloody good. So, and so yeah, on this you get their lyrics and notes, and then the other side is Hallucinate, who I was unfamiliar with. This is a German death metal sort of band, or mushroom metal, I think they call themselves on their Bandcamp. Don't know what's going on there, but as you can tell from the cover, this is Heaven's Gate theme, so the weird cult that all suicided or whatever to go up to their spaceship. I really don't know that much about that whole thing, and so if you know of a good documentary to watch about Heaven's Gate, and I don't know, what, it must have been like 20-30 years ago by now. Yeah, if you know of a good video, please leave a comment below, because I've always kind of wanted to know a bit more about that. Maybe there isn't that much to know, but yeah. So I think they've got samples that I'd say are probably, I do remember that Heaven's Gate had their own videos of them talking about their beliefs, and, you know, obviously before they killed themselves. So maybe that's where the samples are from. It's kind of hard to tell, but so this is pretty normal death metal, maybe slightly techie death metal for the first half, and then it's like a very mellow interlude, and then the second half is much sort of slower with like kind of anguished growls. They're still growls, and some sort of proggy bass maybe. So yeah, it's pretty impressive actually. I will check out more of these guys, because as I said, hadn't heard them before this. So pretty decent match for Jade, but I mean, Jade's always going to win for me really, so not that it's a competition by any means. I think this came in two types, gold and this bone white, or what is it, shroud colour or something or other. I don't know. So yeah, very happy to get that one. Always keen for more Jade. All right, on to the CDs. This first one I got from Discogs. This is kind of like filling a gap that shouldn't be there, really. This is Slough Feg with their Digital Resistance album, or The Lord Weird Slough Feg is the full title. This is, I think, their album from 2014, thereabouts. I bought this. I know I bought this on record and CD and T-shirt, because I have the T-shirt. It's sitting right here. But I can't. I've lost the record and the CD. I don't know what happened with them. I have my best case scenario is that I had them up on my record shelf up there, and somehow they both fell down the back. I don't think that's going to work somehow. I have a bad feeling I might have like left them in the cardboard and then thrown the cardboard box out with the contents. Although, why would I don't know. I swear I remember even getting them. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe one day I'll find them and go, hey, there we go, I got 2 CDs of it. So, spewing that I don't have the record anymore, because this stuff ain't cheap to get in the second-hand market. So, but I was sick of not having this on CD. So, yeah, Discogs wasn't expensive. I mean, this came out on Metal Blade. I think this is their only release on Metal Blade. So, yeah, not hard to get, obviously, because I didn't pay much for it. So, but yeah, this is killer stuff. So if you don't know Slough Feg, they're a weird kind of band. It's like heavy metal, like traditional heavy metal sort of style, like early 80s. You know, a bit of Thin Lizzy in there as well, a bit of slightly proggy stuff, but don't let that worry you. I love this band a lot. I mean, Traveller, their what is that about? Their fourth album is probably my favourite one, but most of their stuff is absolutely killer. So, still haven't got the second album, whatever that's bloody called. The one before Down Among the Dead Men. I still need to get that one. At any rate, this one, because I hadn't heard this for so long, I mean, I got MP3s of it, but because I hadn't actually put the CD on, I kind of thought less of this one for some reason. I thought it wasn't that great, but getting it, this goes off. It's bloody awesome. The drumming on the title track, Digital Resistance, oh man, that guy is thumping. He's going hard. I really love the sort of noir feel to Habeas Corpus, which is probably the better song on the album. It's mostly sort of acoustic with these like thumping drums and of course solos. There's always a lot of solos with these guys. The singer Mike has this really cool gravelly but smooth kind of voice, and he sounds bloody good on this, I gotta say. I seem to recall the live album, the Made in Poland one's a bit, yeah, it doesn't sound super amazing, but I still would love to see these guys live. Do not like my chances there. And I think it's, what is it, Ghastly Appendage. So it's got this rolling sort of feel to it. So yeah, this album freaking rules. I'll show you the inside. It's really not that exciting. Yeah, this album bloody rules. So you get the chance to get any Slough Feg. Yeah, get Traveller if you're going to get one. But anything else around that era is great. But yeah, this one, really bloody good. All right, one of the reasons why I've got so many CDs this time is because I've been getting a bit of stuff from Charnel Sanctum, excellent record label and distro from Queensland and Australia. They do put out some of their own stuff, but they also import a heap, including heaps from Extreme Music, which is like Dave Rotten from Evolst, his like third or whatever, or fourth record label, whatever, after Repulse and Drown Productions. So Extreme Music put out some damn good reissues of classic sort of cult stuff, including these two. This is Cartilage with their In Godly Flesh demo from 91, and this is Altar and Cartilage, their split CD from 92. So, yeah, I can't resist when I see those. He gets heaps of other ones in that I've already got, so I'm like, oh, thank God I've already got those ones. But yeah, this one, I could not resist these guys. It's Finnish death metal, so yeah, you know I'm going to buy it. This is very much the demigod sort of style of Finnish death metal, so pretty bit more straightforward, not as weird as your Demileach or your, Amorphous kind of stuff. So this is I think this is their first demo maybe, so it's pretty young dudes. Very much, yeah, there's a hint of autopsy at times on this, which I'm definitely not averse to. This has actually got a very young Kai Hato, whatever his name is, from like Winter Sun, and I think he's in Nightwish now, and also was in my favourite incarnation for him of Rotten Sound. So yeah, damn good drummer, that's for sure. He's pretty young on this. He's probably still learning, I'd hazard a guess, but when you can hear him, he comes through pretty good. So you get a sort of, wow, it's not a write-up by any means, just flyers and old pictures of them looking pretty bloody young. And for some reason, this is like one of these mini CDs. So it ain't very long, let's put it that way. So this is part of the 10 Inches of Death Cult, so I'm kind of spewing I didn't get this on 10-inch record, but who cares? So yeah, from this is bloody good start, but they move on to this one, which is like a year later. And yeah, they'd sound much more comfortable, I gotta say. The vocals are bloody killer on, what is it? Why Do I Watch the Dawn? He sings does this really fast sort of singing style. It sounds pretty cool. What is it? Blessing in Depth has almost like an early Therian kind of feel to it at times. So they do have a bit of the Swedish about them as well. So, and yeah, you can hear Kai a lot better on drums on this. It's possibly a bit show-offy, but maybe it's just more audible, but I really don't mind. He's doing pretty bloody good. They do re-record a couple of demo tracks on here, including The Altar, which is one of the killer ones. But I'm pretty sure this is it. This is it for Cartilage. Don't know what happened there, but yeah, they did like 2 or 3 releases and see you later. Now, the other side of this is Alter, which was a Swedish death metal band. Fairly straightforward Swedish death metal sort of style. Slightly thrashy Slayer kind of feel to it in parts. Now, this is recorded at Gory Sound, which is like Dan Swano's studio back in the day. So, no sunlight, chainsaw, sort of sound, which I don't mind really. I like differing sounds as well. Only problem is it does have those sort of slowly poxy sounding electric drums that he had back then, which, I'm sure it was probably easier to record, but it doesn't really, kind of takes you out of the atmosphere a bit. So this does have 2 of their previous demo songs at the end, which freaking killer as well. They probably almost a better sound than the proper stuff on this. So yeah, there's another compilation of their EPs, and I think it has this on it still, but like demos and so on as well. So I would be tracking that one down, I think. From all reports, Alter got a bit more melodic death metal towards the end, and they had like Mziko from Nazem singing for them right at the end. But so on this you get, nothing super fancy. You get just like lyrics of Alter, then pictures and thanks lists, cartilage lyrics. But I tell you what, this looks bodgy as hell, this cover. I don't know if this is what I struggled to work out what it was even a picture of. It's like some zombie skeletal dudes standing around with like, I'm pretty sure that's a person trapped in a bubble sort of thing. Like, but when you look at it, it's pixelated as hell. I don't know if that's what the original looked like. The logos look pretty good. The picture, not great. And then on the back, they've got like a zoom in bit of it. Looks even more pixelated and worse. It's like, oh, God. So maybe they didn't have the original art line around, which would not surprise me. This is from 1992. So, yeah. So this is part of the Extreme Cult series. Highly recommended, though. And the more I listen to this, like I didn't have copies of these back in the day at all. I'd never seen the original one for sale anywhere. This gets better each time I listen to it, honestly. It's really bloody good. Originally, I was like, it's pretty good, but the more I listen to this, the more it grew. So, yeah, highly recommended. All right, I'm slowly filling in my Pestilential Shadows back catalogue because I missed a lot of this back in the day. So this is their 3rd album. This is from 2009. So with this band, Bile, the singer and guitarist, I think, is the main dude in the band. But it does have pretty all-star sort of, Aussie black metal lineup. He's got Desolate and Sorrow from Austere on this, and Desolate's in like Temple Nightside and Ill Omen and heaps of other bands. Metal Archives has like Wraith from like Adrian from Nazul on this, but on the inside it's got Zameth, who seems to be someone else listed as bass, but there is no actual credits, so yeah, I don't know. Who knows what happened? Like, Wraith was in the album before this and the album after this, so yeah, I don't know what's going on there. At any rate, it sounds pretty bloody good. I really like the moodier, sort of slower sections in this. I think it's Beautiful Demise. Just has this certain bleakness to it. I mean, they've still got plenty of the old Killer Tremolo sort of stuff on with Serpent's Eye Lay. Really nice sort of lead work on that as well. Sundered has a kind of Burzum-y kind of feel to it at times, like just almost mesmerizing, you could say. So overall, I kind of tend to think of these guys as kind of like slow black metal, but there's plenty of fast, icy, blasty stuff as well. So, yeah, this turned out pretty bloody good, I think. I do need to track down, I think all I really need for them is the 2nd album and the 4th album, so Cursed and Depths, I think. But, yeah, I mean, the new album, better than this, but it's bloody good. So, yeah, this is In Memoriam Ill Omen, the 3rd album from Pestilential Shadows. But I tell you what, from Charnel Sanctum, the highlight for me really was this. This is Insanity with Divine Decomposition. So, yeah, this was a blind buy. This is one of those bands that I'd seen the name around for ages, and I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous band name, Insanity. I know it's insanity and Satan, but I shouldn't laugh probably. So yeah, this is a recent reissue on Pathological something or other. Exorcism or something, I don't know, spiky logo record label. This is a reissue of their first album, Divine Decomposition, from 96, and their 94 demo, what is it, Ad Maiorum Satanae Gloriam. So yeah, I went into this completely blind, just chucked it in the CD player and was like, ooh, yeah. First, I thought, sounds like Deicide. It's got like the dual-tracked high and low vocals, pretty fast. But then in came this like chunky chugger riff and just deep vocals kicked in, and I was like, whoa, shit, I like this. Sounds much more like in sort of Infesta or, you know, some of the East Coast death metal in the early 90s, sort of heavy-ass shit, that's for sure. After the first song, the raspy vocals didn't seem to be quite as prevalent, but maybe I was just listening for the really deep stuff. No idea what they're singing. I mean, it does have lyrics, but you can't tell what they're singing about, except for the fact you hear, like, Hail Satan pretty regularly in it. There is plenty of fast death metal stuff on this, but really the slow chuggery bits are the bits that really get my attention, I gotta say. It does have some occasional sort of keyboards that, you know, add a bit of atmosphere, nothing too dramatic. So this does come with the demo. You get like 4 songs from the demo at the end, which has a bit of a crapper production, but really not that bad, to tell the truth. Vocals are still sick as hell and a bit louder, actually, which doesn't hurt matters. Not sure if there's some bit of effects on there. Usually back in the... I mean, this is a reissue, so it probably doesn't have all the inner notes and so on. Usually in those days, bands had put on that no vocal effects were used on this recording, and there's no mention of it on here. So some bits sound a bit iffy, but I listen to Gorgrind. I don't give a crap. It just makes the music seem even crazier. So, yeah, I like it. Interesting to note, though, this band has had, if you look them up on Metal Archives, they've had a number of lineup changes over the years. Like, first thing I noticed when I was going through it is the singer is the only guy from the demo that's on the album itself. And I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. Does he write the music or just got a whole new lineup of people? And yeah, they've got a number of other albums that I have no idea what they sound like. I probably should have a listen to them after this. But yeah, from now, the bass player that's on the album, who wasn't even on the demo, is the like long-running dude in the band. I think the singer was there for another like 10 years or something. So keen to hear any other stuff he did with them. But yeah, and they've a lot of lineup changes over the years. So I don't know if they've had some issues or who knows. But yeah, this very impressive. This is going to get a lot more listens, I think. So yeah, if you haven't heard Insanity, bloody check them out. All right, next up are a couple that I got from Brad from Radical Blast. Good lad that he is. He was selling this second-hand one. This is Razorback Records, compilation number 1. So, yeah, this is adding to my list of my collection of Razorback Records compilations. So this is only Razorback number 2. So I think what is it? Engorged Death Metal Attack 2 was the first release, which, yeah, I've got up there somewhere. So, yeah, I'd been missing this one. I wasn't exactly vital, and strangely, despite Razorback being known for their, you know, carcass thrash kind of bands and also spooky doom sort of bands, this is mostly brutal death metal, really. So, obviously, back in the early days, they'd only released Engorged at this point. It does have a few of their later bands that they put on there. So, we'll go through some of the highlights in the various categories. So, yeah. Brutal death metal, there's plenty of it. Starts with Regurgitation, which is some nice old school style brutal death metal. But then I think it's Prophecy that really impressed me. Bloody hell, I'd not heard them. I think they're classic Texas death metal. I think their name is pretty legendary, and I can see why. Like, the sound is arse. It sounds terrible, but some damn heavy suffocation vibes on that. So, yeah, I have a feeling Prophecy is one of those you're never going to get the OG one. So, you're probably never going to get a reissue. So, yeah, I'll just download it maybe. But I was very impressed with Prophecy. This also has a Severe Torture, like one of the Dutch maybe. So, one of their demo songs. That friggin' rules as well. This is my first time really listening to Vomit Remnants, even though I think I've got them on a compilation somewhere else. But yeah, their song, sort of weirdo tech brutal death, quite impressed. I think I'll be trying to listen to a bit more of them. Finally got around to it. And this does have Origin, like Manimal Instincts off their first like EP, which is crazy stuff as always for Origin. There is some gore grind on here as well. Like I already knew the Sublime Cadaveric Decomposition, Cock and Ball Torture, The Last Days of Humanity, and Muki Purulent. Yeah, man, it's got Pussy Berserker on it. Bloody awesome song. The ones that I didn't really know was, well, I do know Intense Hammer Rage, and I've probably got that song on one of their albums. I don't know, they're an Aussie band. Never really grabbed me, I gotta say. I've seen them live a few times. They've had like 3 other albums or something. Just something doesn't quite sit right. It's just a bit messy sounding. But this song's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of that one. The other gore grind one on this is the band Gore from Brazil, I think. And yeah, it's very noisy, but I really love the spirit. That's all that matters. As far as the other sort of stuff on here, this does have an Engorge song, killer song off Death Metal Attack 2. It's got an Impaled song, the Immaculate Defecation, which is I think on their The Dead Shall Dead Remain, and this is a demo version that sounds like arse, but I mean it's a good song, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the album version sounds much more superior. This does actually have more Aussie stuff on it. It's got Incabulous, like old Victorian death metal band, their song Shrine of Souls from one of their demo, or their Dark Divinity demo, I think. Yeah, that heavy as hell. Always killer, those dudes. Dark death metal, love it. What was the other one I was going to mention? Oh yeah, it does have 4 seats for invalids, which is I did mention, I think, on my Czech grind one. I think that was a pre-Contrastic band, which I didn't have anything of, so I'm glad I now have this. So yeah, it's not as good as Contrastic, but it was still kind of weird, odd grind. This ends with some reason with like Rigor Sardonicus, Funeral Doom, and there's like rumbly sort of stuff. Pretty awful sound, really, but it's it's rumbly. Let's put it that way. Just strange animalistic sort of vocals on it. As far as, I haven't gone through every band, but the crap ones that stood out of being crap was Grot, which was like thankfully short, fuzzy crap sort of stuff. The other one was Spinecast, who I'd never heard of, and it was like going along all right. And then they have these weird, wanky sort of start-stop, like fiddly little solo bits that just threw me immediately. I'm listening to it in the car just going, what'd you do that for? Bloody hell. So very happy to have this. It's pretty minimal. It's like, hey, here's a CD. This is like a card with everyone's addresses on it. That's it. No other pictures or anything. So, but yeah, very happy to have this one. Glad you sold this one, Brad. Also from Radical Blast, I picked this one up. This is Dahmer split with Frank and the Bitches. I picked this up for Dahmer mostly. I had not heard of Frank and the Bitches beforehand, but it seems Frank and the Bitches is like a kind of scuzzy punk kind of style, almost like Rupture a bit. I like the attitude, not necessarily the output. And weirdly, in the booklet, he has this sort of rant about people comparing him to G.G. Allen for some reason. So, I don't know. And I'm mightily offended. On the back, you probably can't see it, but in the track list, the first 2 ones have different font. And bolded or not bolded, it's ruining my OCD for fonts and formatting is, not good for this one. So they're already off to a bad start. It seems the main guy, Frank, was in Discharge or Death Chart, whatever they're called, crazy Canadian noise core sort of band. And apparently had an alternative version of that for a while, like a legitimate one. So, okay. So this is sort of weird. There's some weird grindy noise core sort of stuff on this as well. It's odd. I've only listened to it once because it was at first very jarring when I first tried it, but it kind of grows on you over time. It's strange but kind of fun. Now the other side, well, not other side, the rest of the CD is Dahmer, and I probably should have checked my Dahmer collection because I've already got these songs on this very excellent Our Worst Recordings compilation that came out on Mortville Noise. Yeah, I've already got the songs. I thought they sounded familiar when I'm listening to them, going, haven't I heard that before? So yeah, this is Dahmer live in 97 in Canada somewhere, I think. Dahmer was like a Canadian kind of grindcore, not quite, I wouldn't call them gore grind, but pretty full on. Really good, excellent vocals on this is one of the highlights for me, like cupped sort of growls and screams as well. But so it's all live. Some reason these guys sing about serial killers, much like Macabre. So they've got all their, songs called Peter Curtin and Carl Pan's Ram and so on. So there's a bit of in between banter, not a huge amount, but they sound very energetic live, which I really like. And I tell you what, one thing I never noticed, how much these guys, maybe it's the other way around, sound like Vaginal Carnage, old Melbourne gore grind sort of band. I don't know, something about maybe the vocals, just the delivery, something about it just was like, oh shit. So yeah, I'm really quite happy to have this one. Even I already owned it. It was a bit stupid, but what the hell. Strangely, on the inside, well, aside from the fact Jesus loves you, Satan is a jerk. The Dahmer one, I mean, aside from the fact they got like a Slayer logo on the front, on the back of them, it's got like pictures of Mortician and Nephilim and Glam Terror, so Pantera back with their big hair sort of thing. Don't know why. Having a good laugh, I suppose. Yeah, very happy to have this, but as I said, I didn't need it, but who cares? And nice man that Brad is, he threw in a freebie for me. This is a Purulent Sperm Canal split with 2 carne, so thank you. I'd actually planned on buying this at some point, so glad you chucked that one in. So Purulent Sperm Canal, you might remember them from my Czech grind video. They're a Czech gore grind band, been around for ages. I think both of these recordings are from 2020. Yeah, just Czech gore grinds, messy, gurgly fun, really heavy sound, catchy ass riffs, weird pig squeal samples for some odd reason. So, and they even cover pulmonary fibrosis for some reason. So, yeah, they're sort of 6 tracks, pretty freaking killer. 2 Carne is like a long-running Spanish gore grind sort of band. Really nicely pitch-shifted vocals on them. It's probably the highlight for me. I think they're a bit faster and more full-on than Purulent Sperm Canal, but I've only really got like a couple of splits with these guys, so I'm pretty sure I got the first album, like a burn of it somewhere, but maybe I'll actually track some of their stuff down because I was quite impressed with this. I think Merte Macabre was my favourite song on here, so yeah, thanks Brad, love your work. All right, the next couple I got from my mate Christoph. He was selling these on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, well, he was selling one of them on Facebook. Let's put it that way. When this arrived in the mail, nicely packed, no worries. It was 2 CDs in the one box. I've split them up on this, but the one that I saw, and Aussie metal fans will know why I'm giggling, was a Contrive CD with like their Finally EP from, I don't know, early 2000s or something or other. And yeah, that's not my favourite band, That's not what I actually paid money for. So he's very successfully tricked me with that one. Thankfully, on the inside was Lobotomy, also packed in with the CD. But that initial shock was like, oh God, who the hell's just sent me a friggin' Contrive CD? Thankfully, this was in there as well. So yeah, this album is what I bought. This is Lobotomy, old Swedish death metal band. This is their first album, I think, from 95. I have shown these guys their demos before. They're pretty straightforward, killer Swedish death metal. This one just sounds like a Swedish death metal album from 1995. It's got LG Petrovi kind of sounding vocals and with some experimenting with other styles. That was an interesting time for Swedish death metal. This also reminds me of Afflicted quite a bit. So, but yeah, there's quite a bit going on in this. I think the second song, Just My Dark Thoughts, has like female vocals and sounds like gothic metal at times. Bit of groove metal almost going on the third song, Soul Shifter. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's got all this weird stuff, but overall this is pretty friggin' heavy, really good sound as well. Really loud bass on, what is it? Yeah, I can't remember what song, but it just reminds you of like that second Carbonized album, this sort of weird bass sound that they had on that. Turmoil, I think track 6 is all over the place. There's heaps going on that. Weird vocals, heavy death metal bits, groove riffs, odd samples. And then they've obviously heard Slayer once or twice. I think it's Darkened Times and in Bloodstained Greed. There's some Slayerisms that I was just like, oh yeah, that's a bit obvious there, fellas. So yeah, if you like quirky Swedish death metal, yeah, definitely check this out if you're it's got to sound like bloody Left Hand Path or like an Everflowing Stream purist. So yeah, you probably won't like this much, but I really like this. It's got a lot of energy to it, good loud thumping sort of drums and good sound to it. But yeah, as Christoph probably full well knew, if I get sent something, I got to review it. So yeah, this is Contrive and their Finally, I think it's called, yeah. EP. I think this is their first or maybe second EP. Oh yeah, there we go. Recorded 2001 at Triple J Studios. So if you're not from Australia, this is an old Aussie band that I don't think they're going anymore. It had like the Hoag brothers, and Andrew Hoag, the drummer, was the host of a national radio show, or a show, a heavy metal one that they, like the Ernie metal thing that was national for quite a number of years. I mean, yeah, he was pretty good on it. I didn't mind him. He's, he's done a lot of interviews. He's got his own, like, radio station kind of thing going now. And, yeah, this is his band with his brother. He plays drums. His brother plays guitar and vocals. And some bass player dude that... what's his name? Tim. There you go. I've never been a fan of this band, to tell the truth, which is why it was torture of Christoph to send it to me. They sound very much like your kind of Chaos AD era Sepultura and a bit of Helmet or maybe Fudge Tunnel. It's groove metal, essentially. Vocals on this are very aggro, almost distractingly so. It actually reminds me of Adam from Alchemist quite a bit, and they did tour together later on, but... yeah, that sounds quite a bit like him, I think. And I think it's the last song, No Wrong, has some clean vocals on it that are not good. I don't think did I manage to get a link to these guys? I can't remember. Like, their Bandcamp only has like 2 of their later albums. This is honestly not as bad as I was expecting. I don't know. This is a band I've seen live a few times, although more to the point, I've probably avoided seeing live more than I've seen them. It's one of those, well, it's time for a beer sort of bands, if you know what I mean. So maybe they got worse over time. This isn't terrible by any means, but anyway. Thanks, Christoph. I had to listen to this twice because of you bastard. So yeah, sorry, fellas. Straight to the shit. The next 3 I got from Landspeed Records, excellent record store in Canberra that... well, I used to go to every week when I was in Canberra, but my work's just moved. So I'm now like half an hour walk away. So I don't know if I'll be frequenting them quite as much. They used to be like a 2-minute walk away, so it's a bit of a bugger, but anyway. So thankfully I picked up a few things this month, including this one. You probably recognise this one. This is Sepultura's first album and first EP. This is Morbid Visions and Bestial Devastation. Yeah. Honestly, I never had this back in the day at all. I didn't have a tape of it. I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty recent reissue. I just bought this new. It was like $20. I was like, what the hell? I've never gotten around to getting this. I really should. Didn't have a tape. I mean, I think it was reissued originally by, and it came out on like Cogumelo Records, who I don't think I've ever seen a Cogumelo thing in real life in Australia. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of them. I've just never seen them. But so I never had the chance to buy this. Although that said, I think Roadrunner started reissuing this in like 91. So yeah, I could have had this for a while. But maybe I gave it a listen and it was a bit raw for my taste back in those days. So I don't know. Who knows? But I'm glad I finally got it. It's pretty bloody good, actually. This is better than I was expecting. I mean, I've been listening to this a bit over the years, but I don't know if I'd sat down and really carefully listened to it. It's really bloody good. I think Crucifixion is probably my highlight on this one. Empire of the Damned is pretty bloody good. I probably don't really need to ramble too much about this, but... and I think on Bestial Devastation, which is the EP, I think it's the EP after it, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it? Maybe it was before it. At any rate, cool ass covers, both of them. I love them. A bit D&D-ish maybe, but on Bestial Devastation, I think Necromancer's my favourite song on that by a mile. But this does come with some nice sort of liner notes from Don Kay. I think the journo and old pictures of the band looking young. Not the picture of them with a swastika helmet. Anyway, so yeah, good little write-up. This does have a couple of extra tracks. It's got some demo version of Necromancer that sounds better than I expected. I mean, as does Bestial Devastation. It sounds bloody great. I don't know what everyone's whinging about, but and does have like a live, more recent live one, obviously with Max still in the band, but of Anti-Cop, which is like Antichrist with anti-cop lyrics for some reason. They didn't need to put that on there, really. I'm happy with the extra demo from back in the day, but suddenly bunging their more modern sound on there, it's like, I don't know, bit of a waste. But I assume this is a remastered one as well, so I've no idea what the original sounds like. No intention of trying to buy the original. It'll be like, $300-400 later. I don't think so. And I don't really plan on buying the re-recordings. I've had to listen to them. Sounded all right. I don't really see the point particularly. I can't think of any reissues that are, or like re-recordings that are better than the original. I don't know. That's the charm of this. And I mean, Bestial Devastation for its, I reckon it sounds all right, but it's a bit sloppy in parts. Let's just put it that way. But as I said, it's the charm. So very early Sepultura, heavy as bluggery. Yeah, these guys really should be talked about more as a, original death metal sort of band. I mean, I think it's 95 was the first, 85 was Bestial Devastation maybe. So, but yeah, that's freaking heavy. So yeah, glad I finally got around to getting this. All right, also from Landspeed, because they have a really good little section of really old Aussie stuff, which like reissued sort of stuff. So this is Buffalo, Only Want You For Your Body. So you might recognise these guys. I bought their Volcanic Rock album a couple of months ago from exactly the same spot. So I was happy to see this one. This is actually the one that I've had longer. I had downloaded this for years, but couldn't resist getting this. So this is an old Aussie, very heavy rock, proto metal kind of Black Sabbathy kind of sounding band from their third album, I think, from 1974. I still haven't actually heard that first one. I really need to check that out. This is their third album. Not holding out hope for ever finding the, an old LP of this for a decent price. I'm sure most of the dealers know quite how much this one's worth. This starts with killer song, I'm a skirt lifter, not a shirt raiser. Which is a bit rude, you could say, but I'm sure it snagged him some female groupies back in the day. I don't know about that cover art either. I think that was possibly a tad controversial in 1974, but what the hell, probably got him a lot of attention. This continues the rocking fun with I'm Coming On, which is like a cover of an old British band, and then goes into Dune Messiah, which is obviously about the sci-fi book series Dune, which is one of my favourite series, so it's really cool hearing the lyrics about that. And to keep in mind, this is not horrible death metal that I usually listen to. You can actually understand the lyrics for once. It's not like a gravel truck as usual. It's really good to have a song about Dune. I can't really think of many other bands that sing about Dune, which is a shame, but it does get a little progressive in the solo section, and there's one of the highlights is the guitar work on this. It's bloody killer. I think pretty sure the guitarist got booted out or left after this album, and then that's when they went downhill and a bit more commercial, and didn't work. This, as I said with the previous one, this has got Pete Wells from Rose Tattoo on it and on bass, and it's very throbbing bass sound. It goes very well. And Dave Tice, I think his name is, the singer, is bloody good. He's just got this smooth, gravelly kind of voice. I think What's Going On is the sort of hit single off this, and it's just boogie-tastic. It reminds me of like Led Zepp a bit. I really love as well. It's got there's a song called King's Cross Ladies, and has like these samples of like spruikers. So the guys out basically in King's Cross used to be the dive of, probably still is. I haven't been there in many years, thankfully. Used to have all the strip clubs and brothels, and it was the dodgy section of Sydney. And it's got samples of spruikers trying to con people in to come and see into their strip joint. Which is such beautiful Aussie ochre accent. And that's a ripper song as well. You do get a couple of live tracks or single tracks at the end, but it's well worth it. You get a nice little booklet, much like the old one, old write-up and old pictures and lyrics, and good little story. So I really wish I could go back in time and watch. I saw a version of Buffalo. I saw Dave Tice doing Buffalo, the singer. I don't think any of the other band members were not in the band. There was no Pete Wells or whatever the guitarist name was. But, well, they were bloody good. Don't get me wrong, he sounded great. They played at Evil Invaders, like an old Aussie metal festival. You know, a lot less heavy than most of the bands, but they were killer. But I really wish I could see that again now that I know the song was a bit better, because I didn't really know them that well at the time. So, but yeah, if you want some old Aussie proto-rock, proto-metal, you know, hard rock sort of stuff, definitely check out Buffalo. They're freaking awesome. And lastly, from Landspeed, I couldn't resist. This is the new Perturbator album, Age of Aquarius. I did see this on record when it was like $80, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Plus, I don't think I own any Perturbator on record. I got a ton of CDs back there, so hey, $24 CD or whatever the hell it was, no worries. So yeah, this is not a metal band. This is synth wave or whatever the hell you want to call them, keyboardy stuff. So this seems a little less goth than their last album, Lustful Sacraments. That had some pretty obvious early 80s goth sort of stuff on it. I haven't actually bought that album for some reason. I'll track that one down at some stage. But so yeah, this is still lots of soaring Vangelis, Blade Runner-y kind of bits, and quite a nice full sound on this. It sounds bloody good, I think. First songs, he does have some guest vocals. He's got Garm from Ulver on the first song, which goes pretty well. I mean, it does sound like a new Ulver sort of song, but oh well. It's also got the Author and Punisher people, whatever, on a very mellow song. I mean, there are like instrumental songs on here as well that are your classic sort of Perturbator, fast keyboardy, good beats sort of style. They're very much the synthwave, so like 1980s soundtrack sort of sounding stuff. It does have the guy from, what's his name? I can't remember his name. The singer of Alcest is on the last song. He pretty much just seems to go, like over and over. I don't know if it's just looped or what. Didn't really super impress. But the guest that did impress on this is Greta Link, who is a female vocalist he's used before on I'm the Night and The Uncanny Valley. And she sounds bloody awesome on this. She's got a great voice, really well suits the music. I wish there was more of her on this, to tell the truth. You should use her on every album, I think. Just adds a lot to it. Really bloody good. So with this, there was nothing new on this particular. I'm glad to see that this is more of the same, and he's not adding in like metal sort of stuff. You know, like some of the other ones like Ghost and what's the other one? Carpenter Brute, adding in extra guitar bits. I don't know, just kind of, it's not what I was looking for really. Whereas this, yeah, it's more of the same, but that's also the problem. It is just more of the same, as not really pushing any boundaries. So yeah, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, in my opinion. But I'm still happy that I got this. So yeah. It's a nice cruisy sort of music. I do listen to a bit of this sort of stuff, like Dan Terminus as well, and a few other artists, but yeah, I don't know why this is sort of metal adjacent. I do find it funny seeing live footage of him in the past when you just had a drummer and him on keyboards, and he's like headbanging away, and it's like, yeah, it ain't metal, mate. I mean, it's good music, don't get me wrong, but what are you headbanging for? Anyway, I digress. This is pretty bloody good. All right, next up are a couple I got from Grindhead Records. First up is the thing I actually ordered was Black Jesus with their Onwards to Slaughter album. This is a brand new album from Melbourne death metal blokes. And now this is a kind of thrashy, almost punky sort of version of death metal. So not your usual sewer dwelling sort of stuff that I buy. It's not super gurgly or anything. This is angry sounding, friggin' full on. I really like it. This is, they have occasional sort of, Slayer meets D-Beat kind of moments that just friggin' raw, but overall, bloody great sound quality. Definitely a step up from their previous releases. I do have most of their stuff, I think. They got like, I don't know, an album or two before this and a couple of EPs and so on. Really nicely varied vocals as well, sort of some raspy, some sort of gruff stuff, but yeah, the energy is the key on this. It's friggin' tough, and I mean, that album covers, yeah, pretty full on. It's obviously about war and the like. It does actually have this big fold out of that. If you really wanted to put it on your wall, and cool lyrics, including a QR code. That's the first thing in a metal thing on the Colonial Frontier Massacre map. So when we lessened the amount of Aboriginals in the country, unfortunately. So This is raging death metal. I'm really impressed with this, I got to say. I have seen this guy's maybe once before, but very keen to see him again because, yeah, this is intense stuff. I love it. Now, nice man that Bubsy is. He usually sends me some free stuff, including this Grim Reaper album that I already have. So, yeah, this will be going to someone else. So, thanks anyway. I can't remember which review that I did this in. So, yeah, check out my previous collection updates for this one. This is an excellent Melbourne death metal sort of band. And the other freebie one that he chucked in was this. This is Slaughterfest 4, which is like a festival that he used to put on up in Sydney. I don't know if I think I went to one of them. Probably not this one, though, because some of these bands I've definitely not seen live. So, yeah, just a compilation of a heap of different bands and quite a few different styles, actually. There's some, like, stoner rock on here. Like, it's got Fuck 'Em Dead on here, so very full-on grind. Ether Rags, another sort of grind band that friggin' rules. I need to listen to them more often. I do have like a 7-inch or 2 of them, or maybe some like mini CD that probably doesn't even play in my CD player, but their songs on this are raging. Actually, some of the stoner bands are the winners on this almost for me. Van, the first band, I wasn't familiar with. It's like an instrumental, just pretty standard stoner rock sort of song, but friggin' nice. What is it? Fat Guy Wears Mystic Wolf Shirt. That's the name of the band. That didn't really win me over. But Rock and Roll Weapon, who I'd not heard either, that's like sort of hard rock metal sort of style, like very rock and roll, but very metal sounding. I really quite like them. That was great. Arrowhead was pretty decent stoner. Ag and Him, yeah, I was familiar with them. They're heavy as hell. I don't know, kind of sludgy, doomy sort of stuff. Red Bee was a strange one. I'm pretty sure I've seen them live. It was like metalcore sort of style, but with like almost hard rock vocals. Sort of like kind of new metal, but more metalcore. It was odd. Very strange sort of sound. Mother Mars was pretty decent for stonery sort of stuff. Summonus is always metal as hell. I already had that song. And Mother Eel. I don't know what was going on there. I don't think I ever saw those guys, and it's like a cacophony. It just sounds like 2 songs at once being played at the same time. It's like, what is going on? I listened to this one in the car and was just like, what? And probably the highlight on this, well, actually, one of the highlights is Looking Glass, old Canberra band, and their song Acid Tongue, which I was very familiar with. I've got the CDs of them, but yeah, that was a standout ripper, bloody awesome band. But yeah, the last 3 Fuck 'Em Dead songs are from a live video that they put out. So it's live, them in Melbourne in the classic art house, which is, yeah, their home, away from home. And I mean, the music's killer. It sounds great. It's drum machine era. So yeah, of course it sounds good. But it's always the in-between banter that's so classic with them. They had a lot of back and forth with the crowd, always like bickering and, you know, just insulting each other. So beautiful. Talking about Damon's mum and so on. It's not on this, but I did note that Bubsy managed to include the song where they reference Bubsy and pay him out or give a mention to him at any rate. So good work, mate. So yeah, thanks for this. This is excellent. I always like getting more Aussie metal and stoner rocky sort of comps. Thanks, mate. Love your work. And last but definitely not least is another freebie that I got. This one came from Jason from Sphere of Apparition. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. This is a first look at Hellstorm Apocalypse. There's their self-titled EP that I'm pretty sure just came out like yesterday or something or other. I got this a week ago, but yeah, thanks, man. Always happy for some premiere sort of stuff. So this is a very new band from South Australia. So this has got some old heads in it. It's got Doomsayer on vocals, keys, and guitars, which is Paul, I think is his real name, from many bands, from Oath of Damnation, Johnny Touch, and a heap of others. And Hellion, aka Matt, I think, on drums, who was also from Stargazer. Both of them were in Beyond Mortal Dreams and also Oni, so some killer bloody old South Australian death metal. But more importantly, both are in Dark Lord for a while, which is, yeah, a lot of influence on this, that's for sure. I don't think they actually wrote in Dark Lord, I don't think they were actually on the albums, but they definitely played live with them. So, yeah, this is a bit more death metal than Dark Lord, who are super heavy. You might remember them from one of my underrated Aussie metal bands ones. Yeah, very, very heavy band, but black metal. So this is a bit more death metal. It's still got the raspy kind of vocals and the super detuned sound. There are some characteristics, sort of, switch from fancy solos and emperorish sort of keyboards to just sheer brutality of heaviness. I think on this it's got like 4 songs and then a cover of Hymn of Hate by Armored Angel, which is a bloody good cover. They managed to slightly slow down the opening kind of riff, and also the drums are a bit fancier, which is a nice sort of difference. But there's 4 original songs of theirs that are pretty bloody nasty. I love it. I think Legion of Ashen Bones probably my favourite on here, and Turn to the Dark's a ripper as well. But yeah, this is intense bloody stuff. It's kind of like Dark Lord meets Bestial Warlust with a bit of Emperor, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend this one. There's not much to it on the inside. It's just got lyrics on the inner bit. But yeah, I was very happy to get this. I would have bought this anyway. But thanks, Jade. I appreciate it. And yeah, highly recommended. This is bloody awesome. All right, that's your Bloomin' Lot for this week. Plenty of stuff. Now I've got to find more space on the CD racks to fit all that stuff. Thankfully, the record racks aren't too worried this time for once. So yeah, I'll hopefully get this out tomorrow. I'm on my way to Sydney tomorrow to go see Blood Incantation and Secret Chiefs 3, which is a strange combination, but both bands that I love, so I'm very happy with that. So I may try and do a video of that, like a review, and maybe go do a bit of shopping, see if I can catch up with that Simon bloke from Explosive Action. You never know. So I won't guarantee that, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But should be a killer gig. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Cheers.